pros, cons, and risks of working from home. Thinking about doing the work from home thing? Everyone seems to be looking for that elusive work-life balance these days, and working from home can give you a great way to do a lot of things you wouldn't normally get to do in a regular 9 to 5. However, working from home is certainly not for everyone, and I know quite a few people who would not do well in that sort of environment. There are many advantages of working from home, but it can also come with some cons, and also some risks as well. The pros of working from home. There are a lot of great things about working from home. Flexibility. Working from home allows you to manage your personal time and your work time. If you have children that you need to take care of throughout the day, you can schedule your work time around their needs. You can have a home office, yet you don't need to work from 9 to 5. You can choose to work whenever it suits you and your family. It's much easier to make time in your day for necessary things. Do you need to make a doctor's appointment or attend your child's school assembly? Take an hour out of your day to go and then be back working. You no longer need to take the afternoon or even a whole day off just to fit things in. When you work at home, you have much more control over your time than you do when you work outside the home. Depending on what kind of work you do, you might have absolute control or just some control, but in either event, you will ultimately have more control over your time than when you work in an office. No travelling. Working from home means that there is no longer a need for you to commute to work. Your fuel costs are decreased, as is the wear and tear on your car. You no longer need to endure heavy traffic during rush hour, and you no longer have to drive home after a tiring day. It's better for the environment. Companies and employees can improve their carbon footprint when they allow people to work from home. Because you don't have to commute to and from work, there's less carbon monoxide being released into the environment. A study conducted by Telework Exchange showed that collectively, companies can save up to 9.7 billions of gallons in gas every year, and 38.2 billions in savings annually. Financially rewarding. Working from home is actually financially rewarding. You can easily save more money because there's very little needed to commute, buy fuel or buy lunch. It doesn't even need to be a full-time arrangement to benefit. By working from home just 1 day per week, you can save about $100 per month in fuel costs alone. You can also potentially save money on childcare if you no longer need to rely on full-time daycare. Companies can also benefit by allowing their workers more flexibility. They may find they don't need a big premises if they do not have all of their employees in an office, saving on rent, utilities, or even office supplies. More productive. You may still have deadlines when you work at home, however you're in a much more relaxed environment with less distractions and fewer demands. You also have the flexibility to work a few more hours when the opportunity arises to meet your deadlines. Interruptions can also be minimised as there are not colleagues around you to distract you. There's nothing more frustrating than attending a pointless meeting. It takes away precious time which you could have used in more productive things. Telecommuting can take away those unnecessary huddles, like when your boss just wants an opportunity to brag about his weekend golf, or update meetings when you could have just had an email. Empowering. Employees can feel more empowered when they are given the opportunity to work at home. Working from home gives you peace of mind because you know you are never too far away from your family in case of emergencies. Working from home can also reduce the amount of stress an employee feels. More time with family. If you have children and you don't want to put your children into care, working from home is a huge advantage for you. Not only saves you in childcare fees, but it gives you peace of mind that your children are safe at home. By not having to commute to and from work, you're also saving time that can be spent with your family. This might enable you to pick them up from school, help them with their homework, or go for trips in the park. The cons of working from home. When deciding to take the plunge and start working from home, it's essential to be realistic and consider the drawbacks. Working at home is not necessarily the best choice for everyone, and before you make this decision to embrace the flexible lifestyle, there are some cons that need to be considered. Keeping kids entertained. If you have school-aged children, it will be relatively easy to work your day around school drop-off and pick-up times. Likewise, it's generally much easier taking care of a newborn baby who still sleeps during the day than it will be keeping toddlers entertained and amused at home while you're trying to work. Are your kids easy to entertain, or are they going to require lots of interaction with you to be happy? Think carefully about how you'll deal with these issues because it will determine how many hours you can realistically work if you want to keep them at home. Isolation. Working from home can be a lonely experience, so how will you cope with spending days with little or no adult interaction? You need to factor this into your work from home plans and create outlets for you to get the social interaction with others if you think that you'll need it. Home office setup. If you're working from home, you'll need a place to work. Ideally, this will be a dedicated home office setup. Working at the dining table is not conducive to a productive environment. You need to set yourself up to be able to do your job properly. This may mean the purchase of a desk, computer, and any other office equipment needed to do the work. You'll also need to have reliable internet connection and be contactable by phone. Depending on the work at home job you have chosen, you will need to find out whether there are any costs involved and whether you can actually meet them. It will be important to look at insurance requirements, equipment needed, and whether there are any laws in place that relate to building usage if you decide to work in your own home. Distractions. Distractions can be a real drawback, and there are many that can come up working from home. From children to telephones and helpful friends wanting to stop by for a chat and a cup of coffee. You'll need to make sure that you have a set routine and work schedule in place. Make sure you have boundaries so that you can ensure that your friends and family will know that when you're working and when you're available. For those times when it's an emergency and they really need you to drop everything and come now, use a safe word that will signal it's a real emergency. When you work at home, you're shoulder to shoulder with mess, laundry, pets and the children. It's easy to get sidetracked trying to take care of these things. If everything's on a schedule, even the children if they're home during the day, you can get much more done. You will be able to focus on work when you're working because you won't get sidetracked thinking about all the other things that you need to get done. Hard to switch off. Working from home means that the work is always close by. It's very easy to walk past your office and think that you just get that one task done, or be sitting on the couch watching TV in your downtime thinking of that project that you should be doing. When you work somewhere else, you can tend to leave your stresses about the job at work, but it can be very hard to switch off from work mode if all that work is just down the hallway. The distinction between work and home can be blurred, especially if you are working for yourself. Lack of work community. When working from home, you can lose that sense of belonging to a workplace community. Although you may have calls and online meetings with your clients or colleagues every now and then, you'll be working by yourself most of the time. No bonding over coffee in the break room, no lunch together, no exchanging weekend plans with your colleagues. That lack of social interactions and sense of community can be hard for some people. The risks of working from home. As well as pros and cons, there are also some risks associated with working from home. Whether it's to do with safety, security, or just access to advancement, they should be thought about in the work at home decision. OH&S issues. All workplaces should have workplace safety and policies put in place. This can make things difficult when employees are working from home. It's important to learn about the laws where you live regarding safe workplaces when working from home. You may find your employer will require you to put certain things into place to cover themselves and you. Check your relevant WHS regulator for details of any legislation in your location. Security. Security is a key consideration when you work from home, especially if you're working on sensitive information. Your home computer generally has less things put in place for protection of information. While encrypted virtual private networks provide a good level of security, unencrypted email and USB drives are not a very secure way of sharing information. Some companies provide a work computer or device rather than using your own personal computer to help you mitigate the risks and will assist with remote IT support. Less access to development opportunities. Working remotely may mean that you miss out on opportunities for training and development held in your regular workplace office. This may not be as much of an issue if you're still able to get to the office easily to attend things like this, but it will cause problems if you can't. Employers and managers may also accidentally leave your things as they're not constantly seeing you around and in their head. Out of sight can mean out of mind. You can sometimes lose the relevance of being constantly in the workplace. If people don't see and deal with you every day, then sometimes you might find that you're not thought of in situations. Of course, there are emails and video calls to keep in contact, but some things are just easier and quicker to explain when you're sitting right next to a person. Limited communication options can make collaborations harder. And when your team members are all in an office and you're the only one working from home, you might miss important things that they talk about on the fly. Working from home is not for everybody, but as more studies show how the benefits of working from home and other flexible arrangements outweigh the disadvantages, I wouldn't be surprised if more companies allow their employees to avail of this work arrangement. In the end, working from home would be greatly beneficial to all parties concerned. However, the pros, cons and risks associated with working from home need to be considered before making any sort of arrangement. If you want some more information, then head to the links in the description below or check out our other videos on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can learn how to make working from home work for you.